MySQL has a few unique aggregate functions or aggregate function usages. Most of the aggregate functions that are available in MySQL are also available in other platforms and are actually part of the standard. So we're going to focus in this lesson on those differences of MySQL. If you're interested in knowing more about the rest of the aggregate functions, take a look at my SQL Essential Training course here on lynda.com for a more complete reference. The most common aggregate function is the count function. I'm sure you've seen it many times. I'm going to go ahead here and select the world database. And what we'll have here is a count of all the rows in the country table in the world database. Of course, you've seen this before many times. The count function in MySQL also accepts the distinct keyword. And what this will do is we'll count the number of distinct values in the region column in the country table in the world database. So we see that there are 25 distinct values in the region column, and of course that means that there are 25 distinct regions in the country table. Now you may want to know how many countries are there in each region. You can do this like this. Select region, count of region, from country, group by region. And what this will give you is a count of all of the different values in the region column for each grouping of region by different region values. So for each value of region, it will count the number of rows in that group. And that'll give us the number of different countries in each region. And so again, the way this does is by grouping by region, what it does is it groups all of the different rows that have a single value of region and counts those. And so there are 5 rows that have the value of Antarctica in region. And there are 24 rows that have the value of Caribbean in region. And so by grouping them together this way, we can get a count within each group of how many rows there are with that value. And so that tells us how many countries there are in each region. Now that we have this data, maybe we'd like to know the names of all of those countries in each region. And for this, we have the group concat function. And that looks like this. Select region, comma, group underscore concat, that's the name of the function, with the argument of name from country and group by region. And what this will do for each region, it will list in one value the names of all of the countries separated by commas. Now this is a very powerful grouping aggregate function. You see, in Antarctica we have these countries, the Caribbean we have all of these countries. Now there's a couple of things about this that I don't like. I don't like that it uses a single comma and no spaces to separate them, because that makes things like this look strange. Virgin Islands, comma, U.S., comma, Turks. You don't even realize that Virgin Islands, comma, U.S. is the name of a country. But you can see because it's got this space after the comma that it's not that kind of a comma. And so we'd like to change that. And also the names of the countries are not in any order. So we'd like to order those. Well, the group concat function is very flexible in these ways. We can put in here order by. And we can also specify a separator. And what I'm going to do for a separator is I'm going to use space / space so that it doesn't get confused with the commas that may already exist in some of the names. This will order the list within the group by name, so it'll be in alphabetical order, and it'll change the separator from this bare comma to something that's a little bit more readable. There we go. So now if we look at the Caribbean, it starts with Anguilla and Antigua and Barbuda and Aruba. And so it starts with the A's and it ends with Virgin Islands, comma, US, Virgin Islands, comma, British as well. So this is a list that we can actually use. Those are the aggregate functions that are different or unique in MySQL. Like I said, most of the aggregate functions that MySQL supports are available in other platforms and are documented in SQL Essential Training course here on lynda.com. What we're focusing on here are the ones that are different or unique to MySQL.